Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful tool that helps you tackle one of the most common problems in data analysis. How do you get the data you need from the data you have? Let's get right into it.
So you've probably run into this. You've collected all your data, you open up your data set, you're ready to go, but the variables staring back at you don't actually answer your research question. You've got all the raw ingredients, but you haven't actually made the meal yet. And this slide really nails the problem. On the left, you see the data you have. You might know the number of male partners and female partners separately, but what you really need is one number for total partners. Or you've got height and weight, but what you really want to analyze is body mass index, or BMI. So how do you get from point A to point B?
Well, say hello to your new best friend, the compute function. You'll find it right there under the transform menu. Honestly, you should think of this thing as your data's Swiss Army knife. It lets you run calculations to combine, reshape, and basically build the exact variables you need to do a really meaningful analysis.
Okay, the best way to really get a feel for this is just to see it in action. So let's walk through our first case study. We're going to take two separate variables and combine them to tell a much clearer story.
Now, what's so interesting here is the problem we're solving. See, if we analyze the number of male partners and female partners separately, our results get totally skewed. Why? Well, because most heterosexual people are going to report 0 for same-sex partners, right? And that just drags the average way down. This quote from the source text just says it all perfectly. Trying to analyze them separately is like trying to report the average number of pregnancies for all adults, men and women. I mean, you'll get a number, but it's a completely meaningless one.
So our goal is super simple, super clear. We need to make a new variable. We're going to call it total partners, and all it's going to do is add up the numbers from the num-men and num-women variables for every single person in the survey. This gives us one solid, much more accurate number to work with.
And the actual process? It's ridiculously easy. You just give your new variable a name, in this case, total partners. Then you write out the formula, which is just num-men plus num-women. Then you click OK. That's it, you're done.
And here you can see exactly what that looks like inside the program. You see the new variable name, total partners, over there in the target variable box, and the simple little formula goes right into the numeric expressions box on the right. That's all there is to it. The software handles all the hard work for you.
And this is the payoff. Look at this. On the left, you see our brand new total partners variable. The average, or the mean, is 9.04. But wait, after we do a little data cleaning and get rid of a few extreme outliers, people reporting 50-plus partners, look at the table on the right. The mean drops all the way down to a much more believable 6.34. This is the power of transforming your data. We made a better variable, we cleaned it up, and now we have a much more accurate result.
Okay, so adding two numbers together is great, but what if you need to do something a little more advanced? Let's jump into our next case study, where we're going to build a pretty complex variable completely from the ground up.
Right, this is another classic situation. Your data set has height, it has weight, but the variable you actually need for your analysis is body mass index. The idea of BMI doesn't even exist in your data yet, but all the building blocks you need to create it are right there.
And that numeric expression box is way more powerful than you might think. It's not just for plus and minus. As you can see right here, it can handle the entire BMI formula. We're talking division, multiplication, the whole shebang. You just type in the formula using the names of the variables you already have, weight and height.
And just like that, success. The second you click OK, the software runs that calculation for every single person in your dataset, and boom, a brand new BMI variable is born. This histogram shows our new variable is good to go, ready for analysis. We literally just built ourselves a powerful new metric to work with. How cool is that?
Okay, now before we wrap this up, I want to give you a really crucial pro tip. This is one of those little tricks that is going to save you so many headaches down the line, especially when you're dealing with the messy reality of missing data.
So here's the deal. You have to understand the difference between using a simple plus sign and using the sum function. When you use a plus sign, the software needs a valid number for every variable you're adding. If even one of them is missing, the whole result is missing. But the sum function, it's a lot more forgiving. It just adds up whatever numbers are actually there, and it just ignores the empty cells.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, sometimes in a survey, different people get asked slightly different questions. So you might end up with 3 separate variables, but each person only has an answer for one of them. If you try to combine them with a plus sign, you're just going to get a column full of missing data. This is where sum becomes your absolute best friend.
And this just shows you the result perfectly. On the left, you've got this scattered, messy data spread across 3 different columns. And on the right, in that fair comb column, you can see how the sum function just flawlessly pulled all those answers together into one single complete variable. It's such an elegant solution to a really messy data problem.
So, after going through all that, what's the big takeaway? Let's do a quick recap of what this compute function, this data superpower, really lets you do. All right, so let's break it down. You can now combine variables to tell a much stronger, more coherent story. You can create brand new variables from scratch using all sorts of formulas. You can use it to help clean your data to get more accurate results. And you've got a killer strategy for dealing with the headache of missing data. You know, mastering this isn't just about learning a new command. It's about fundamentally leveling up the quality of your research. You know, at the end of the day, tools like this aren't just about crunching numbers. They're about empowering your own curiosity. They let you look at your data from totally new angles and ask more interesting, more nuanced questions. So I guess the real takeaway is this. Now that you have the power to reshape your data, what new questions are you going to ask?